And now, a hometown tour of Petersburg.
When you drive into Petersburg, the first thing you see is the impressive three spires that identify Saints Peter and Paul Church. Not only the centerpiece of the town, but the source of great pride for everyone in the area. First built in 1868 and then rebuilt in 1905, the current church was built to accommodate the growing congregation. And after several years of use as well as wear and tear in the Iowa climate, the time came for some much-needed renovation to the church. And Karen Domeyer explains the projects.
We started out in 2017, 2018. We put a new steel roof on the church, and then we undertook the project of renovating the steeples. There's 3 steeples, and they had a complete overhaul. We took the old louvers off, and new historically accurate louvers were made, and those were reinstalled. The roofs of the steeples were repaired and painted, and then there are turrets on the top of the steeple. They were all repaired. And there are decorative finials that sit on top of the turrets. They were all recreated by our local artist, Jeremy Rudd.
Rick Domeyer continues with the list of projects tackled.
The church is listed on the National Historic Register, so everything we did was to bring it back to what it was or better. And we did the restoration of the stained glass windows. They turned out beautiful. The color when the sun is out is just amazing. We put in a new heating and HVAC system. The electrical system was completely updated. We added pendant lights, and we also had to waterproof the basement because we had issues in the basement with that, and insulation was also added to the attic.
The church is extremely ornate, and when you stop by to look at all of the beauty and see the attention to detail, Karen quickly points out a unique piece that you need to see.
And we have 5 exquisite wooden altars. The main altar has 2 revolving turnstiles, if you will. In these turnstiles, the one to the north contains the risen Christ, and you can rotate that turnstile so that a statue of an angel is there. And on the other turnstile, it contains a statue of the crucified Christ. And when you rotate it, there's a statue of an angel behind it. So we turn it throughout the various liturgical seasons of the church.
And there are 8 hand-painted murals on the ceiling, recently professionally cleaned by art conservators in Detroit. And it goes without saying, the work was done with every attention to detail.
We hired a multitude of companies to do the work that needed to be done. And we had engineers and architects and art historians parade through the church constantly. They would walk in the church not expecting to see much because we're a small parish in the middle of a cornfield. They walked in and they saw what we had and their mouths about hit the floor and they went, wow. And we heard over and over again that from now on, when they drove through a small community and saw a church, they were going to stop and see what this church was like because ours was so impressive.
And as is the norm nowadays, finding a priest is a job in itself. And Saints Peter and Paul have had their concerns, but workable solutions have been put into play and services continue in Petersburg.
Well, Father O'Connor retired a couple of years ago, and after that, we began sharing a priest with 4 other parishes. We have Father Dennis Quint in our cluster. He is the leader of our 5 parishes, and then we have 2 other associates that work with him. So yes, we are still lucky to have 3 priests in our cluster, and all of our parishes are still able to have at least weekend masses, and all of them have 1 or 2 or more weekday masses also.
You are invited to stop by Saints Peter and Paul Church and see the beautiful church for yourself, and you don't even have to be Catholic to feel welcomed.
We welcome people to come take a tour of the church, and if they want a personally guided tour, we gladly meet them up there and show them around.
So when you find yourself driving in the rural areas of Delaware County and the familiar 3 spires appear on the horizon, make it a point to stop by Petersburg and take a moment to admire the history and the beauty of Saints Peter and Paul Church. And as Karen says, all of the work and dedication serves more than the spiritual needs.
This church is the glue that holds our community together. So in our opinion, this church is vitally important to our community's existence.
For Hometown Tours Petersburg, I'm Rob Edwards on Mix 94.7 KMCH.